We can't be asleep on the Washington football team's defensive line, because with our offensive line looking shaky, their D line can definitely knock us off our horse. And we know that D line putting pressure up front is definitely gonna, put a lot of pressure on Wentz, especially since we don't know what our offensive line picture is even looking like right now. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Wentz, and Wentz can be thrown off of his game, which can make the Washington secondary look much better than they really are. So Wentz, we know, has to be on point, but also whatever wide receivers are going to be stepping up, they have to be on point as well, because we might not have that much time to develop plays because of the fact that our offensive line is very questionable right now. What's up? Welcome back to another video with me today. Sadly, we're talking about some more injury news from the Philadelphia Eagles. This time out of training camp, it is our beloved number 1 round pick, Jalen Reagor, who has gotten bit with the injury bug. First of all, can we catch a break? Like, it seems like every other time I get a news from Philadelphia, it's bad news about somebody on our team who has been bit by the injury bug. This time it is Jalen Reagor, who is out with a shoulder injury. He's about to go through, his MRI, and we'll get an exact kind of timetable on when he's expected to come back. But right now they're saying 3 to 4 weeks, which he can be out, and it's pretty much set in stone that he's going to miss week 1 versus the Washington football team. Guys, first it was Andre Dillard. First it was Brandon Brooks, then Andre Dillard. Now it's Jalen Reagor. Obviously, Alshon got bit with the bug too. But guys, can we catch a break, please? But I'm not here to whine. I'm here to tell you guys why we're gonna be alright. We gonna be alright. If there's any team in the NFL whose coaching staff knows how to work around injury and knows how to bring these lesser guys into the mix and get them involved and get them productive, it is the Philadelphia Eagles. We know how to deal with these injuries, sadly, because we've been through it so much. But guys, even if Jalen Reagor is going to be out week 1, week 2, we are going to be fine. And I'm going to tell you guys why. We are blessed. So obviously playing the Washington football team is not going to be easy sleeper. It's not going to be a game we can go to sleep. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league, and knowing that our offensive line is coming in, I wouldn't say, because I'm going to be positive, I'm not going to say offensive line is coming in shot, but it's definitely coming in different, and it's coming in not what the team wanted. So the offensive line we wanted obviously was Andre Dillard at left tackle, Jason Peters playing guard, Brandon Brooks playing guard, but obviously we don't have that offensive line. We're trying to figure out who's going to play left tackle. It's not set in stone yet that Jason Peters is going to be playing left tackle, because he asked for more money, and it's just, are we going to give him that money? Right now they're saying they don't even know who's going to be playing left tackle, which is scary. Very, very scary. But I feel like we're going to be fine with what we do. We got a lot of depth pieces in the draft when it comes to the offensive line. We're going to be fine. I'm going to say that because I'm going to be optimistic, but it's definitely not going to be the line that the team wanted. So we can't be sleep week 1 because we're coming up against a very vicious defensive line in the Washington football team. And even though so obviously the Washington football team lost a lot of big pieces in their secondary with Quentin Dunbar. They lost him in free agency, and he was one of their best pieces in their secondary. They got Ronald Darby, who we already know is buns. They got him from us. Have fun with him. Y'all can have him. Do whatever y'all want with him. They added Kendall Fuller back after his stint with the Chiefs. They added him back. He wasn't very productive. He had a big play in the Super Bowl, obviously, but he wasn't very productive for the Chiefs last season, obviously, why they're not bringing him back. So he is with the Washington football team, but he still has a lot of uncertainty. So their secondary is definitely something that we can match up with against, even if we don't have Jalen Reagor, because they're saying Alshon Jeffrey might be back week 1, which is huge because Alshon Jeffrey can automatically come in and fill that void that Reagor would have had on the field. Another big thing though is, even though the Washington football team, and I'm just emphasizing them right now because right now they're just saying it's certain that he's going to miss week 1, but we're not exactly sure if he's going to miss week 2, 3, or 3. So I'm really just focusing on week 1 right now. And if it comes out that Jalen Reagor is going to miss more than week 1, I'll talk about, our week 2, week 3 matchups without Reagor. But right now they're saying Alshon might come back, which is huge because obviously Alshon could easily step in and fill in that position. But we can't be sleep on the Washington football team's defensive line, because with our offensive line looking shaky, their D line can definitely knock us off our horse. And we know that D line putting pressure up front is definitely going to, put a lot of pressure on Wentz, especially since we don't know what our offensive line picture is even looking like right now. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Wentz, and Wentz can be thrown off of his game, which can make the Washington secondary look much better than they really are. So Wentz, we know, has to be on point, but also whatever wide receivers are going to be stepping up, they have to be on point as well, because we might not have that much time to develop plays because of the fact that our offensive line is very questionable right now. I'm not going to say it's busted, but it's questionable. It's a big question. We don't know. It's not set in stone what we're going to be doing with our offensive line. So Wentz and the wide receiving core has to definitely be ready come week 1, because the Washington football team is definitely going to take advantage of the questions that we have on the offensive line. They're saying Malata is looking good. They're saying Matt Pryor is looking good as well, which is wonderful, which is great. But those guys have to be ready, especially on the edge. You got Montez and Chase Young. We have to protect Wentz, and protecting Wentz is going to make our wide receiver core look even better. Quez Watkins has been looking great at training camp. We obviously know he's a speedy deep threat, but he is kind of an undersized guy, and he might not do well in the slot when it comes to mixed matches. So we don't really know if Quez Watkins is automatic, like, Reagor's out, Quez Watkins is going to step up. Quez Watkins does serve a great purpose and stretching the field with his speed, but we definitely have to see some improvement on him if he's going to be trying to, maybe get some play time in the slot with Reagor out, because he'll have to be able to create those mismatches, and that's not something that he really is projected to be able to do well right now. But guys can surprise you, so we can definitely see Quez stepping up and maybe getting some more play time where Reagor would have had that time. This is great news for Greg Ward. Of course, I don't think Greg Ward is rooting against Jalen Reagor, but this is great news that he has that hunger. He has, the experience playing with Carson Wentz, and he got hot with Carson Wentz late last season. So we can see Greg Ward definitely getting more play time than he was before. So it just sucks because Jalen is obviously a rookie, and it's got to be in these guys' mindsets. Like, you see all these guys around you get hit with the injury bug. It's got to be in their minds. They got to be kind of self-conscious about it. And then the fact that Jalen is a rookie and he's, feeling a little bit self-conscious, like, dang, I got injured during practice, because it was during training camp and it was an interception that he was going to defend, and he hurt his shoulder. And it's like, should these guys even be hitting that hard in practice? Like, knowing that we are affected by the injury bug, should they be going that hard in practice? It's a two-way street, because it's like, okay, in the real game, yes, you got to be prepared to make those tackles when the interception comes, but then it's also like, okay, look at my depth chart right now. I need to make sure I'm sharp. I need to make sure I'm ready for week 1. So it's double-edged sword, but it's just, you hate to see guys get hurt in practice. Also, Carson Wentz was sitting out of practice. They said it was nothing, a ligament. I'm sorry, I'm no doctor, but they said it was a ligament, and it's really nothing to worry about. So Jalen Hurts stepped in for Carson Wentz already. He did throw that interception that had the other Jalen, get hurt on the play. But just seeing all these guys, we had Miles Sanders, still hasn't been practicing. Just seeing all these guys get hit with the injury bug, it's just really disheartening. We haven't even got to week 1, and we already have an injury report so long. But I'm not here to be a downer. I think we're going to be just fine if Jalen Reagor does not play week 1. Obviously, we want him out there, but just like I laid out, we just have to make sure we don't underestimate the Washington football team, because if our offensive line isn't sharp, if our wide receiver core is having questions, they are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to rush, and they're going to blitz. They're going to do anything they can to knock Carson Wentz off his game, to speed up our play time, and we don't want a repeat of last season when we had a deep field for just a first down. So we definitely want to not underestimate this week 1 matchup, but also be thankful that we're not coming up against San Fran week 1 or the Seahawks. We just be thankful, or even the Cowboys, that we have a more manageable week 1 matchup. So let me know what you guys think. How are you feeling after this news? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get 300 subscribers by my birthday.